Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting, coming to you today with the next lesson in the Introduction to Sales and Communications course. And this lesson is the four-step process of any sale or of a sale. So in sales, there is a simple four-step process that we use to basically, from the start of the sales engagement through till the end, what we want to do is we want to hit four main things. We want to qualify our buyers, okay? Then what we want to do is we want to present our product, okay? And then what we want to do is overcome objections and then close the deal. So this process is key because without first qualifying our buyers, we don't understand who our buyer is, if they have the capacity to purchase our product, if they have a need for our product, if they have a want or a desire for our product. But we also don't understand much about the potential buyer. We don't understand their motives, and we don't understand the current constraints and challenges that they're going through. So qualifying is very important because this is where we gather the information to get a clear picture with our potential buyer on what are the current problems that they're facing, what are their current constraints, and how can this product or service be positioned to really, really benefit them in language that relates back to their needs, their wants, and their desires. And then we have the presentation phase. So when we've qualified a potential buyer and we go, yep, you can afford this product, you're needing, the features and the benefits that this product offers, or the outcomes that this product or service offers. You've got the money for it, you can afford it, you're gonna see results from it, you're interested in it. Okay, so now we present the information. Now, the key for this is it is all linked. So this isn't that we're going through and just, yep, we've qualified you. All right, I'll talk to you in a week. No, from qualifying buyers, we then want to arrange a time to present, to run our sales presentation. So our sales presentation is running them through, features, benefits, running them through the product and how it will help them, running through current constraints of the industry and all of this, and then running through, some of the more finite aspects. So really separating ourselves. And it's in the presentation phase that we're able to really dive into educating the potential buyer. Okay. But when we ask for the order or we go to close the deal, we are always going to be faced with objections. So objection handling is the next aspect. And it's not that, you know, it's a multi-stage process. Essentially, while we're presenting, okay, we ask the buyer, does this make sense to you? Do you see the value in this? Would you like to get the benefits that we're offering to our customers or our buyers? And then we're going to get objections. And what we want to do is we want to be able to keep a lot of core information for the objection handling. So when we're in the presenting phase, while we're educating and presenting the buyer, we're not really going out there and just blabbering on about every single minute aspect of the product or service that we are selling. What we want to do is in the presenting phase, we want to do a comprehensive framing of the product or service that we're offering. And what we want to do is we want to leave enough room or enough meaty information so that when we receive objections, what we're able to do is we're then able to transfer into, well, I understand you're saying this, but have you thought about this? And we're able to give a little bit more and a little bit more information. And sort of it's a dance between falling back on the qualifying questions. Well, you've said that you want X result. The product, and then we jump into presenting, will get you XYZ results. Does that sound fair enough? And then we jump into overcoming those objections where they might say, oh, but the price isn't at the point that I want it at. Well, what would be the price point that you want it at? If you were able, and let's say we're, for example, doing marketing services. So we'll run through this in a hypothetical. Okay, so I'm offering marketing services to small and medium-sized businesses that are in the hospitality industry. So in the qualifying, what we're trying to do is understand, well, how does your restaurant currently perform? Do you have certain constraints around brand awareness, around booking out, tables Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Like, what are your lowest days? And how can we create a creative solution to increase your traffic on those lower days? Okay. And then what we would do is jump into after the qualifying, when we've qualified, well, you've got down days, you're not seeing the cut through on your brand awareness as, you potentially could be. And you've got, maybe not as much ROI or return on investment on each person through the door. So what we're trying to do is create creative solutions. And this is what the presentation is about, is where we're demonstrating, well, what we've been able to do for other small to medium-sized restaurants in your industry is we've been able to create promotions that increase the sort of retention rate of customers or increase the spend of each customer, especially on those lower days. So if Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are your lowest days, what we want to do is create some marketing solutions and create some offers that increase your customers through the door, but also increase the spend by using package deals. All right. And then we get to it. Well, if we were able to get you, let's say 20 new customers every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday through the door, and they were to purchase this package, and let's say the package deal is a 3-course meal at $89. Okay, so what we're able to do is we're able to get you about $1,600 per day, okay, through the door in new revenue, in new business, so that you're able to increase your, not cost, but increase your profit on those days where you would be technically losing profit. And then we say, well, if we were able to do this, would this sound interesting to you? Like, would this be something that you'd want to go on? Would you want to be a part of this? And then they'll come up with some sort of an excuse or an objection as to why, oh, I don't know if I'd be willing to, invest into that. Like, I think marketing is sort of null and void and blah, 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 whatever it may be. So then we're able to say, well, here's a scenario that we've had with let's say Joe's Hot Dogs. Okay, we were able to increase Joe's Hot Dogs traffic by 30 to 40 customers per day through strategic marketing. Okay, so placing ads in the right places, where they're going to get more cut through in terms of, we're not placing ads at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're placing ads to run for short durations prior to, so between 9:30 and 2:30 in the day, so people are able to see it when it's the meal time, and we're able to minimize the cost of that advertising because we're not running the ads all day every day. We're running them over very short durations where it's going to have the maximum cut through. All right. And then we run through this scenario of, well, what we were able to do is we created a package for Joe's Hot Dogs where we had a hot dog, drink, chips, and a dessert for $25. And Joe's typical cost or typical average sale would be a hot dog, drink, and maybe chips. So by adding in a package, what we're able to do is we're able to increase how much people are spending, okay, while also decreasing wastage because we're running off set templates. So you're able to prepare for them. So we're able to prepare for how many we think we're going to do. Okay, so we're minimizing wastage and all of this, and we can show them through it. So it's very important, depending on your industry, depending on this, to explain things and demonstrate things through stories so that the customer is able to relate to it. So what we're trying to do is present new information without being in conflict with the potential buyer. So we're not saying to them, well, if you don't want this, like you're just throwing money away. Why wouldn't you want this? No. Well, actually, what we were able to do is we were able to go from having an average sales price with Joe's Hot Dogs of $12.50, let's say, for argument's sake, and we were able to bump it up to $25. And what we were able to do with directed targeted marketing, okay, and strategic marketing was we were able to get 20 to 30 people through the door. So let's say on average, Joe did 40 hot dogs a day. We were able to get him to go from serving 40 customers a day up to serving 70 customers a day, and 30 of those customers were on average spending $25 instead of $12.50. So you see how we're sort of creating this story and narrative that is sort of elaborating and demonstrating, well, if we did nothing, $12.50 would be the average sales size. 40 customers would be the average customers per day. And then we were able to artificially increase that, and we were able to create a package to where costs of goods didn't dramatically increase, and we were able to bump up the average order size. So we were able to make the 30 customers that we brought in were actually worth 60 customers that you would have served. So it's things like this. And then in closing, what we're doing is we're repetitively asking for the order. So every time we present this, if we were able to do this for you and we were able to give you a 50% increase on your average order size and increase, by 40% your average orders per day, what would that mean to you? Would that be something that you'd be interested in? And then they might come back with another objection. So we're just running through this process where we're demonstrating the value that we give through presenting information and educating the potential buyer. And then we're overcoming their objections because we're showing them how other people had similar objections, and we were able to get these results for them. And then what we're doing is we're asking for the order so that they understand, look, we can do this for you, okay? And we're not afraid to ask for the order, because the thing is in sales, okay, it is a 4-step process. We first qualify them, then we present the information, we overcome the objections that they may have or the preconceived notions that they may have, and we ask for the order. And if they reject the offer, then we go back and we go, well, you're saying that you've got quieter days X, Y, and Z, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what would it mean to you and your business or your bottom dollar if we were able to turn Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday into your best days? How would that transfer your week's, take or your income per week for your business? And if we're able to then create other packages and other offers for your busier days to increase the productivity or the outcomes of your busiest days, what would that mean? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find as much information as we can to understand our buyer at the highest level, but we're trying to leave as much information as we can out of our presentation in terms of, we're not being vague, we're framing the offer, but we're sort of not filling it out. And as they create objections, what we're doing is we're filling it out step by step so that every time they create an objection, what we're doing is essentially we are presenting more information that overcomes those objections. And then we ask for the order, and then they might come up with another objection. So we're overcoming that objection. And it's sort of this process of breaking down their barriers of mistrust to where they understand that, yes, this is someone who understands me as, a small to medium-sized business owner in hospitality. And this is someone who understands the industry. And maybe they can bring more information or different strategies that are used throughout the industry and maybe elevate my business. And sort of that's what we're looking to do. So, for example, if I give you this in property, when I was, doing getting first homes for first home buyers, selling homes, what we used to do is in the qualifying, well, we wanted to know your capacity. We wanted to know whereabouts you wanted to live. What suburb did you want to get in? What sort of a house did you want to get? Like, did you want to have, bigger land with a smaller house? Did you want to have bigger land with a bigger house? Did you want to have smaller land with a bigger house? Like, depending on your budget would determine that. And then when we're presenting, what we're looking for when we're presenting is we're trying to find the emotional drivers. So in the qualifying, when we're looking to qualify potential buyers, we're trying to find the emotional pain points and the emotional drivers of what is it going to mean if you take action? What is it going to mean if you don't take action? Okay. What is important to you in your week to week, month to month of your running of your business? With first home buyers, it was, well, what is it going to cost you if you were to wait 6 months? Okay. In terms of land prices only ever go up. Building prices only ever go up. If we're waiting 6 months, potentially, we're going to have to find land 20 to 30 kilometers further out from the city centre. We're potentially going to have to build a slightly smaller house. Now, if you wanted to wait 6 months, that is no problem because we're able to work with you to really, really find the ideal piece of land. And sometimes, and this is where it's really important, is sometimes we have to set the expectation that, hey, we may have to compromise if we wait. But that's no problem because we will be able to get you an amazing house and land package. Okay. So when we're overcoming the objections might be, oh, I have to live within 10 kilometers of the city centre. That's great. But if, we're talking about Brisbane and you're not looking to buy a unit or an apartment, we're looking at 800,000 to $1 million. It's gone up a dramatic amount since I was doing it. So now it would be more like 1.2 to 1.6. So what we're doing is just overcoming those objections of the objection is, well, there's no land where I want it to be. There's never going to be land where you want it to be at the price that you want it to be at. So what we're having to do is we're having to find what is in your budget. Could you see yourself living here? Is this a place you could see yourself living here? And what does it mean if we got you into this property in the next 6 months opposed to in the next 4 years? What does it mean in terms of interest rates? Because interest rates are always varying, going up and down, up and down. So potentially in some circumstances, if interest rates are at a record high at the moment and they look like they're going to go down over the next 6 months, that's where we would tailor it out to where it's like, look, we should start looking for land now. We should start getting the process started now, but we should look to get the loan sorted in 6 to 12 months because it's going to be in your best interest. Because that's the truth. As salespeople, it is our responsibility to take care of the customer and have the customer's best interest in mind. Even if that means it goes against me making money today, if me making money in 6 months saves the customer on interest rates in property, well, that makes sense because we want that customer to have an amazing experience and not get in at a high interest rate, and they've locked in a high interest rate and they've got their loan sorted, and then 3 months later the interest rates drop, and now they're sitting with an over leveraged property because they bought at the top end of the market. So it's very important, but many different things can happen, many different things, there will be within your industry or within, the products or services that you sell. So it's about aligning to make sure that the business's best interests are in line with the customer's best interests, because we don't want to be only focusing on the business's best interests at the detriment of the customer, because what that does is that leads to negative reviews, it leads to bad reputation, it leads to lack of referrals. So what we're trying to do is build a relationship with a potential buyer. And this process is just a process of being able to communicate with our potential buyers, okay, through the process of finding out the crucial information that we need to know about them, qualifying them to know that they can afford and want our product, being able to elegantly present the information and frame the offer so that they have a conceptual understanding of it. And then as we dig deeper into closing the customer, we start to see those objections, and we still have tools or information or education that we can use or stories to overcome those objections while still remaining high, having a high, like, oh, what's the word? I can't remember the word, but essentially what we're doing is we're creating a relationship with them where we can ask the questions, we can ask for the order, but we're not taking away from it's on the tip of my tongue, but we're not taking away from the relationship that we've built up, to where this person turns around and thinks, this guy's just hungry for money. He just wants to sell me something just so he gets his paycheck. Okay, so that's what we're trying to overcome. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.